What types of nonsense?
But so I said it though. So this is. Now you're procrastinating. Hold me. So I want to. What a mess. You're good.
I've been good.
Are you gonna be?
I'm literally fine.
Okay. So we are Cafe for the Cosmos.
We are not Cafe for the Cosmos.
That's what
this
the podcast
is Cafe for Cosmos.
Yes, this is Cafe. What is this?
The Cafe for the Cosmos.
Kind of a podcast, kind of a YouTube channel, kind of a...
At the beginning, it's going to be a YouTube channel, and it'll slowly turn itself into a podcast.
Yeah. So we're just like hanging out and talking. Anyways, so I kind of think it's important. Well, I think it's important to explain why we came up with the name Cafe for Cosmos, and then we're just going to kind of explain who we are, what we're going to be talking about, why we're here, the whole shebang. Am I boring you already?
Oh, good. Can't even yawn in peace.
So, Cafe for Cosmos. What?
It's just funny now because I never think of yawning like that, but it's always looked at like that.
As like, yeah, but
you don't care.
Right. It's so true, and it's unfortunate.
My body is falling
because, like, you can't control it. So, like, you can even tell. Like, it's funny when you can tell somebody's holding in a yawn because they're like.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that.
Really?
I've never seen that.
Oh my god!
Who holds in yawns? What the heck?
I've definitely seen people do it. Yeah. Get a grip. Literally, that's what it looks like. It's crazy. It's like, dang, just let yourself be free. Like, oh goodness. So yeah. So Cafe for Cosmos came about because I've always kind of wanted to podcast, I guess, but I don't know. I'm in a weird state of like, I feel like no one cares what I have to say, even though I feel like I have, I guess, kind of important things to say, but I don't know. I just like talking to people. I like learning about people. So I feel like podcast has always been like a thing for me. And the name that I came up with, if I were to do one by myself, was the Red-Eyed Cafe. And the cafe part is just like important to me because here I go boring you again. Because I really like coffee and I enjoy the atmosphere of a cafe. I think it is just like a place you can go hang out, talk to people, be around the people that you enjoy. You can have lighthearted conversations. You can have serious conversations. So that's kind of where like the cafe part came in. It's just kind of, I don't know what you would think a cafe atmosphere would be. I kind of want this atmosphere to be that.
Can you take a picture of the... Thank you.
You're welcome. So just what you would expect like the cafe atmosphere to be is kind of what I want the atmosphere to be, just like relaxed, hanging out. We just kind of want to explain who we are and why we're here.
Do we?
As best to our ability, really? Right?
Do you need to know who I am?
Yeah. Okay, so who are you?
I'm Kareem.
What do you do?
I'm a young stunner.
Correct.
I work at UPS and I lift up packages and put them down.
Mm-hmm.
You ask me who I am and what I do.
You're a package handler.
Touch boxes.
Ew. Excuse you. Okay. We'll revisit that. How old are you?
Why do you need to know my age? You don't need to know my age. You don't need to know. Get away from me.
You don't think that matters?
No.
Okay.
You can look at me and be like, he's around.
What would you say?
He's between 15 and 40.
I was genuinely interested in what you were going to say for the age range. And then when you started at 15, I was like, definitely not that, but okay. Whatever makes you feel good. Okay, whatever.
I do need water real quick.
Need a regroup. And nojito. I love this picture of him, just a little eyebrow.
Just what?
The little eyebrow.
The cut?
It's just like, because he looks so innocent. And you know it's just from his nails.
I don't know what you did when I was at work.
Oh my fucking God. Okay. So you're Kareem, you're a package handler. That's what you want to leave it at.
You asked me questions, I answered them. What do you mean?
Okay. What?
Who are you? What do you do?
My name is Gabrielle.
Gabriel?
No, Gabrielle. I would like to make it known that Gabriel is spelled Gabriel most of the time. And most of the time, Gabrielle is spelled with the extra LE at the end. So I just want to put that out there because I think that is...
Gabriel.
Like, do you want me to call you Karen?
I don't
Or
care.
Karen or...
When I went to the dispensary the other day, she had to write my ID thing down.
Why?
And she put, I don't know, she put Kareen. She's called me Kareem.
Anyways, it's Gabrielle. Most people call me Gabby. But yeah, I prefer Gabrielle, but it's just I've
It's
been
hard,
called.
everybody says it.
Yeah, like I've been called Gabby my whole life, so it's like how do you go back, I guess.
Even I call you Gabby.
Yeah, right.
I want to say Gabrielle, but everyone that I
You
interact
don't
with you.
really call me by
I know,
like
but
to
when I
other
do,
people, you
I
say
only hear
Gabby.
it. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
only
don't
hear it
say
from other people
Gabrielle.
as Gabby, so the first thing that I always think of is Gabby.
Right.
I don't hear Gabrielle.
Yeah.
Unless your mom says it like...
But does
somewhat
she say Gabby
sarcastically.
or does she say Bella when she talks to you about me?
She says Bella, but sometimes
Yeah.
when she's talking to you, she'll say Gabrielle. And
Yeah,
like
she'll mostly
with, like,
say
a tone.
Gabrielle because she doesn't like Gabby. So, yeah. Yeah, so my family calls me Bella, but anyways, it's Gabrielle. And I work at the local hospital as a clinical lab assistant.
Why you looking at me like that?
I don't know, you just keep
What are
sipping.
you proving to me? My throat's dry. I can't sip over here.
Yeah. Like,
Haven't I done it on purpose? I almost choked.
so, yeah, Gabrielle, and I'm a clinical lab assistant. That is what I do.
Fun.
I like it.
Do you?
So I like what I do, yeah. I do like it.
Just not what you do.
Circumstantial,
Leave
yeah,
it
I
at
guess. Yeah. 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 So what are we gonna be what are you gonna be talking about? What are we gonna be talking about?
How everything in the universe is connected. How... Is that not enough?
I guess maybe you can just say like what does that mean? Like what do you mean? How is everything connected? Like you're gonna be talking about what connections? vibration connections, energy connections.
What? What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying is, what are you talking about? Like, just how everything is connected and that's how you're leaving
Is
it?
that not simple enough?
I feel like it's...
This is connected to this. This is connected to that. This is connected to this. This is connected to that.
What does that
this
mean? Okay, and...
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well...
I don't know. It was like a broad... I don't know. What?
I just clicked the keyboard.
You clicked the keyboard?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought I clicked on its own. That would have been cool. I don't know what I was saying. What was the question?
What are we going to be talking about? And you just said how
meditation,
connected.
A little bit of quantum mechanics, quantum physics that I don't fully understand. Inspirational people, not idols. I don't want to say energies because it just sounds, for one, it sounds a little cheesy, and for two, I've never spoken like that, so it just sounds weird coming out of my mouth as in the energies and the.
Oh, right, because it's like not how you would typically
it's like
talk.
unnatural to me at this time, so it's like I wouldn't even really say it like that. But that's why I like explain things with quantum physics, quantum mechanics, because it like shows things at an atomic level where you can actually understand as to why the bigger picture is the bigger picture. Like it just makes a simple sentence sound extremely elaborate because the world is way more elaborate than we normally think of it as.
Makes sense.
What are you going to be talking
about? I'm just going to be talking about like daily life, Pilates, how that has...
Oh, yoga.
Yeah, just
Pilates.
like meditation, just the way that I have made like day-to-day changes that I've made that have like overall helped me in life, and just talking about like what I'm learning about currently, how I'm growing, kind of, I guess, not comparing my old self to my new self, but just showing the changes that I have made. And I don't know, I guess just like learning along the way, so being able to see all of the changes that I'm doing and hold myself accountable to certain things, I guess, too. Like,
be grateful for the changes.
Yeah.
Not just see the changes. Bask in the changes. Bask in the fact that you're not necessarily a better person, but you have a better understanding. You're more consciously making decisions.
Yeah. And just definitely... What is that? It turned off. It's just mostly talking about the things that I'm learning in my day-to-day life, honestly. And just talking with you about the things you're learning about and the changes that you've made, and just family life and parenting and growing in general, and just being a human. I guess just having conversations. Just genuinely having open conversations, I guess, is my biggest thing.
Actually open conversations. Yeah. Having a conversation between two individuals in a household can be an open conversation, allowing like free flow of ideas, but an actual open conversation is where anyone is allowed to join the conversation.
Right. And like allowing listeners and viewers to correct me when I'm wrong and help me to grow and learn things, because I am literally just learning and growing like everyone else is. And no one is perfect, and we are definitely not perfect. And these are just like,
we're not necessarily wrong.
Right. We're just,
like, you're just doing things based on what you know. If you do something that's like actually wrong, it's only because it's wrong to you personally. Like, your wrong might not be somebody else's wrong. So you can't really just say, like, correct me if I did something wrong, because I could be sitting wrong to somebody and they're trying to, You know what I mean? Which, I mean,
True.
technically right now I am sitting kind of wrong.
I was just gonna say, like,
But
when
I'm
I
trying to
called you
talk
the
into the
Hunchback
microphone.
of Notre Dame.
Anyways.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's right. But there also is, like, murdering is wrong. So, like,
To you. To some people, that's not wrong. Some people grow up in really, really criminal environments. And what they think is right is that's what you have to do to survive. Right there. Something that to you, that's wrong. To them, it can't be wrong or you don't exist.
that is also
Your brain is
valid.
playing tricks on you. It's a hard concept.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. It's like that's why it's like you really don't know what is positive and what is negative. You might think there's a time and place for everything, but none of this is supposed to be happening in the first place. So it's just it's
Right.
all a game.
It's so
It's
true.
ridiculous.
It's just, yeah. It is weird. So, we're just going to be talking about all of it. Literally everything and anything. Yeah. A lot of things.
My major changes, which obviously I don't think I'm going to get into that until the meditation episode because it makes more sense because that's the whole reason why I changed in the first place.
Correct.
I wouldn't have changed unless I meditated really and saw the Dr. Greer thing. Dr. Greer thing was definitely like the start, the fuse being entered into my body. I didn't have a fuse before. I don't know. I wasn't even there.
Yeah, I guess that's valid.
I wasn't. It's a whole different. It's
Right,
like,
yeah.
it's actually wild. even to me, it's wild. But I still feel exactly the same, which is awesome.
Do you think that's one of the reasons why people should listen to you?
No, I don't.
Like, why do
no.
you feel like people
No,
should
I don't
listen to
think
you?
there's no reasons. What? Hell no. There's no reason you should listen to me. I was about to say some stupid stuff. Let me stop real quick.
I just feel like people listening, obviously, like, is for you to decide, like, for, like, you to decide. Like, people just decide who they want to listen to, who they want to follow, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
just
you
who
take bits and
clicks for
pieces from
them.
everybody. Everybody has a piece to the puzzle. Every single person has a piece of the puzzle.
Right.
But not everybody's cooperating.
Also
Imagine if
true.
we all cooperated.
I was going to say wild, but it would be the opposite of wild.
It would be the opposite of wild. It really
would be peaceful.
It would be wholeness.
Yeah.
Oneness. It would be actually, and again, it's just you want to use an adjective, but it's just like it doesn't make sense. Like
Right.
nothing could explain it.
Yeah. That's true.
It's just crazy how much we overlook it. Like it's a fucking universe, man. Like it's not just the stuff that we go to work and come home and go to sleep. You know what I mean? There's
Right.
freaking everything out there. We're just living daily
Go with
lives
the
like
flow.
nothing's happening.
Like, yeah.
The world is doing all types of craziness. All types of craziness.
The world is here, and that is just an anomaly.
That's enough.
Like,
That's enough.
Yeah, that's like enough.
The world
in
is
itself,
here,
like
and
you
that
said.
is enough.
For
Like,
real.
my goodness. And you're able to experience it for some reason. Like, what?
Yeah.
You don't have to be a part of this experience. But we are all a part of this experience. You have to be
Right.
here for a reason.
And at this
You
certain
specifically,
time.
it doesn't, and that's where the adjectives and everything come in because it's like, it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be small. You feel like your life has to amount to something, but we don't even know what that something is. So it's just like you're creating
yeah,
these
okay.
values that don't even add up. But your life
Right.
could have been done wonders for whatever this universe needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't know
because
what that is.
like you said, we don't even know why we're here. Like the
Ex-
basis of all of
exactly.
it, and it's like now we're just making up all these rules and regulations based off of what we think or thought it should be, based off of what it was
Yep.
a few years previous. Like, or just
And it's like over
Yeah.
time, we try to make rulings and stuff to make things better. Man, I had an analogy yesterday. I wish I could remember it. It was like a lot of positive things can just end up being so negative to some other people. Like a bunch of people are in an area and everybody's struggling, or a bunch of people are in a bunch of areas and everybody's struggling. They're like, let's find a way to unify this food. Let's find a way to get food to everybody. Let's find a way to... So you're trying to perform this common goal for everything. But then you realize you don't have enough food. So you do things like GMOs and stuff like that to quote unquote create other foods. And it's just like, originally you might not know exactly what it did, but you know that it's making more food. So now everybody has more food.
So it's like it's got to be a positive.
So it's like,
it's working
right, there's
out.
so many angles because of course there's some people who are for the fact that it is slightly negative, but there's also people who originated the idea potentially where they were literally just trying to help a situation,
right.
and then it just like
that's
how
they were doing
things
it
can
to
happen.
Save people, but
exactly. So over time, as long as if you don't learn and remember your history, then that cycle just keeps happening. So once the species ends or a species ends and restarts again, then you go through that cycle again. And if you don't break that cycle, it's just gonna keep doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna have like these positive things that you think might be all positive, or you're just not worried about the things that are potentially negative. But that's why you can't say they're positive or negative, because there's an outcome to every action. It's wild.
Indeed it is. So you kind of described the shift that you made. Like, do you want to describe a little bit more? Just like what? Because you were like, I was a completely different person. Like,
right.
Just what were you before then? Like, what were you now? Like,
what was I before?
Yeah, like
I was a completely different person.
Right. So, like, what did that, like? I guess, what did your day-to-day life? Because you said meditation is what changed you. So, what did your life look like before meditation? I guess I should say, or ask.
Playing video games. Focused on minute time. Thinking every. I don't even know how to describe that. Like. Essentially what it was is like before I was a person who was trapped. Like I didn't understand that there was more to life, because it's just, you don't think it's right in front of you. You know what I mean? Like you're just like so encapsulated by anything. Didn't matter what it was. You just need some type of stimulation to stop all the noise going on the outside. So I was essentially just deflecting noise for years. I don't even know. You feel like the same person, so you never really know the timeline on when things change. Because I feel like the same person now, but I know that I'm a completely different person. The only reason why I feel like I'm the same person is because I'm still in this body.
Right.
Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just like my entire thought process has changed just by understanding from meditation, speaking with my higher self and stuff like that. But I don't know, I had no actual value of time. Like I thought, I was convinced that time was finite in the form of this, like every moment I have to be doing exactly what I think I want to do, not what I actually want to do, what I think I want to do based on everything else. And you get all these things that are quote unquote stressors that stress you out.
Yeah.
Well, that stress you out, not even quotes, like stressors end up stressing you out for real. And you just kind of, I don't know, fall back onto what you, again, think you love, think you like. Like I didn't understand the value of emotions. I didn't understand the value of time, of family, of anything, because I was just wallowing. Is that even a word that I would use?
Wallowing?
Yeah, like
I don't think I've ever heard you use it, but it is a word. I think it's accurate. I think it's an accurate word.
In that. So it's just like I'd literally come home, forget you guys. I need these however many hours until you go to work to play video games, forget everything else. And the whole time I'm playing video games, I'm not even having it the greatest of times. But it was just like in my brain, I was just like, I have to enjoy every moment, but I just didn't know how to. And most of us don't. Most of us we succumb to this environment that we're in, at least in America. I can't speak for other countries, but that's how American life is. And it's just that natural depression that is bound to creep up on you when you're just living in the general matrix. I don't know. I don't want to use that word. I hate that word because everybody just thinks it like numbers and codes, which is like kind of is, but that's not the way I see it. Like I see it a different way, so I'm gonna have to find a different description for it. But just, I don't know. Had a family, had love, had life, but I was a loner. Like, how's that possible? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What?
So now...
Don't even make no sense.
So now after meditation, you just, use your time differently?
No, I value everything different. Everything. I don't use my time differently. I use my time the same way that I technically would have I value things more. So because I value things more, it changed the order at which I like things / love things, and made me realize things I don't actually like or don't actually love. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
just
Like you said at the beginning, you said you were spending the time on things that you thought were
right,
important to you, you
right.
thought you liked, you thought, and
And the
now
big thing that
those things are just different.
the big thing I always tell people is like most people don't know who they are, and like you can think you know who you are, but you don't know who you are ever. You'll never know who you are. Like you literally, like you'll never know everything your body actually wants. If that makes any sense. Like your body and mind want. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Because things are always changing, or
again, I'm speaking from all of my situations in life that's led me to here, so I have a different perspective than everyone else. Well, everybody has their own perspective, but yeah, like that perspective keeps changing, and especially if you meditate and you were in a bad place, it will keep kind of changing in some form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your inner self, your higher self, is actually like coming to fruition. You're starting to understand. No, it's a lot. Like there's so much you just don't understand. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
But you definitely feel every single bit of it when you meditate consistently, because there's not really necessarily a proper way to meditate, but you just got to do it consistently. A lot. A lot. Helps so much.
Yeah. So why now for meditation? Like all of a sudden you're just like,
well, mainly it was Dr.
do
Greer. Easy money, it was Dr. Greer, but that's another episode.
Yeah. But that was like the original, like this is
I watched the freaking AARO June 13th conference. I think it was on the June 13th. I think it was on your birthday.
And I mean, I've seen the changes, obviously. Well, I can't say obviously because other people don't live here. But I have seen the substantial changes. But one of the biggest changes they're all very big, like complete.
Yeah, 180 flip. 180 flip.
Complete flip. But one of the big changes that I think I noticed before other things was like you stopped having so many body aches when you meditated.
Oh, goddamn. I was calling out of work every other week.
Yeah, and just like not even, like even if it wasn't like quote unquote call out worthy, it was still just like every day you're coming home complaining, this hurts, that hurts, I gotta lay down for an hour, I'm so tired, this is like, so that was and that's one of the changes why Pilates is so important to me. It's like not only just, it helps physically and mentally, but it's just your day-to-day life seems so much like not easier, but more fluent, I guess.
It's graceful.
Like, yeah,
the rest of your day is graceful. It doesn't have to be pain-free. It doesn't have to be without conflict, but it's just like slightly easier to handle those conflicts and pains.
And we use two completely different forms. Like you sit down with yourself and are in your own head, and that is your form of meditation. Not in your head, but you're sitting down with yourself and choosing stillness. And for me right now, I don't even know.
I have to do my yoga, so I've been getting back into doing yoga.
And like stretches and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
it helps so much better if you do. I used to do meditate and then yoga because I didn't want to do the yoga. You do the yoga first and then meditate. My goodness.
And yoga is meditation, so it's like you're easing yourself into it.
You're literally like opening things, which I never got until I really started meditating for a while. Because at first it's just like I'm stretching, but now I'm really like trying to like put the frequencies out there. Like, I'm doing it.
Yeah, which is how I feel. Like that's why with Pilates too, it's like I work my whole shift. I come home, I do Pilates, and then I meditate after. So I guess I do both forms, but it started with just Pilates, and that made me feel just really good mentally, like I'm taking time for myself, which was something that was really hard for me to do for a very long time. I feel I always, and I still feel weird about it. Like,
Yeah, I
even though
don't know
you guys
why.
are, I know, but it's just,
Lulu tells you to leave.
right.
That's a sign.
He's like,
Get out
you
of here.
need your space, mom. But no, it's just,
Relax.
I don't know. His infancy was very hard for me, which is like another whole episode that we can like talk about that. But there's just a lot of challenges that I faced. So even now, like just feeling that, like knowing that I'm important to myself and like taking that, even just sometimes it's 10 minutes, but choosing to do something for myself is just like a big step in general. So that like helped just mentally, and then physically it's like I can bend over and get Luca a toy without being like, "Argh."
You remember me? Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah, it's
gosh.
like anytime we would be like cleaning up or like we would be like crawling on the floor with him for like
Lou,
2 seconds.
no.
Yeah.
I
It's
can't
like,
do this.
right. And it's like now, obviously, we're older than
We are
he
not
is. We're
old.
not old, but like,
By Sad Guru's word, I'll take him on this one. If you're alive, you're young.
so either way, we aren't as nimble
I'll take that.
as Luca. So, it's just like, just being able to do certain things at certain ages with ease is just such a blessing, and we're grateful. And like just being able to move my body, I think that's one of the biggest things that I go through Ruth Pilates studio. She's amazing. She is an app. It's all at home, and like literally I'm a diehard Ruth Pilates fan. I could talk about her a whole episode. She's amazing. But one of her biggest things is, number one, she always talks about like do what feels good for you. Like I'm going to show you what to do, but like if this doesn't serve you, like don't do it.
Right.
So it's just like just move your body. Like just be grateful that you can move your body. Like you don't
It's
have to do
hard.
it right.
It's hard
Like
in
you
the
don't have to
beginning.
do it exactly this way or mimic me, but just the fact that you're taking the time for yourself
Not,
to move
not
your
even
body
taking the
is
time. Just the fact that you are able to.
right.
You're literally able to follow me right now.
Right, and it's literally that mentality of I get to. And that's kind of one of the things that I've been focused on
I allow
too, is
myself.
I get to. I allow myself to. Even with little things like laundry. I get to go downstairs and put the laundry in. Some people don't get to do that. Like literally some people don't get to wake up in the morning and walk to the bathroom. Like there are things like so many like little things to just breathe fresh air. All of that is just
Yeah.
important.
Think
And
about how many countries you can't do that.
yeah, and it's just, I mean, where we are, we had what, a few days of quote unquote non-healthy air,
Smoked
and it
out.
was
We got them first world
horrible.
problems.
Yeah, and it was just like, I don't know, it just being able to move your body is just such a simple thing that flourishes into much
That
bigger
stuff
things.
messed me up too. My throat and nose were
Yeah.
bleeding.
That
Which
is so
which is actually crazy.
dead.
Actually, wow.
Oh my God. Well, how do you make time
I have
for your
time. I have
meditation?
all the time in the world.
What do you
How do I
mean?
make
Why do you
time?
say that? I feel like you could say that for anyone. You have all
You
the
do.
time.
You choose what you want to do in life. You choose. Might be difficult. Might be more difficult going one way, but
Yeah.
you can choose what you do in life. That's where manifestation comes in. If you're really struggling in a situation, manifestation can potentially, because I have no experience, get you out of that. And that's another thing that I'm gonna be like, if we have a talk about manifestation, I'm gonna be like a little distant from. I learned about it for a while, but when I was saying earlier about the desire thing, like I was meditating this morning and I was just trying to figure out actually what I liked, like what I desired. And it was just like a calm, like funny, happy family, abundance of courage, good health. I mean, I guess abundance everywhere. And there was one more thing. It had to do with love and like the love of all people and just just that, and I was just like content. Like
Dang.
I actually don't
Like
want, I
feeling
don't
that.
want anything, and what I desire is not really like I desire a community, like a functional community, which is super weird for me to
You
like.
desire like a feeling, essentially, a
I
calmness.
desire
Like,
oneness. Like I
yeah.
literally like that's my ultimate goal, which obviously it's not like a one man job.
Right.
Like
Right.
that
And there's
makes the
always
most sense.
outside factors that.
Well, it's not even about outside factors. It's just I came to the realization today because I was trying to figure out who I am and what I want to do and what I like. But it's just like I don't want to manifest much of anything because like everything I desire I have. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like I'm not desiring of anything extra, which I came to the realization of this morning. But I just thought it was like wild. I was like, man, what else? Why would I manifest anything in
Right.
this situation? You know what I mean? Like it just sounds wild to me. I was like, what the heck?
It feels good to hear though, because like you don't. Not that you don't ever express your love to me. But,
No,
like,
I did in a
you
different
just,
way.
yeah.
That's like I was a
Yeah.
completely different person. Like I didn't think of
Right.
anything the same way.
Yeah.
My ideals are different. Not saying better, not saying worse.
Right. Just different.
They're
Just
just
different.
a lot different.
Right.
Completely different.
And that's like the goal here. Is like we aren't going for better, we aren't going for worse. It's just different.
No,
like,
going
just,
for the uniqueness.
like
Who
right,
am I?
just yeah.
Who am I? I'm not worried about what anybody else is doing. Just
Don't
who
let
am
anything
I?
waver.
Find out who
Yeah.
you are. Like that's the
Yeah.
best thing.
That is very true. And that stemmed from like I've made a list of questions of what we were going to ask each other, and one of them was, what do you like to do? And I was like, I'm assuming that's where that thought process came from, was me asking that question. You're like, what do I like to do? Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Like a while
Yeah.
ago. Yeah. And
Yeah.
every day since then, I've been like, what do I like to do anymore? Like, and I
Yeah.
try to download a game and play it, and I'm like, I hate
Do I
doing this by
like-
myself. You know,
Yeah.
but if I had a community, I'd be fine. I can do
Yeah.
everything with a community. I just want some type of community, but I want that community to be every person I interact with.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
which is again wild. Because I was a person that was like, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Now I'm just like looking at people like, is there an ounce of hope? Like,
Yeah.
can you love? I'm able to now. Can you do it? Like,
Yeah.
just no pressure, obviously.
Um.
Again, 180 flip.
Yeah. I mean, when I made this template, I put in like just the key things that I wanted to remind myself of, like what I wanted to say. And that was the main thing for me. For what I like to do is like, I like to bake, I like to drink coffee, I like to listen to music. And all of those things take like time, but like I like to do everything with the people that I love. Like, genuinely, I just like to be around calm, loving, accepting energy where I feel like I can just do and be myself.
Be free.
Yeah, and not feel like I'm walking
Being judged.
Yeah, like walking on any sort of eggshells or anything
It's
like
as simple
that.
as it is, which is
Yeah.
crazy. That's why I always come back to that now. It's like, it's all judgment. You're scared of being judged.
Right.
And then you're constantly judging other people, which makes sense as to why you're scared of being judged, because the way that we speak around here is just like, we're just judging everybody we see.
Right, exactly.
Like, what
And
other language do we know?
Right. And it's like, I also do very much like to be alone. Like, I love to be around people, but I need to recharge. I need to sit with myself and be alone. We talk about how COVID didn't really change our relationship much, in the sense of like, we're good with each other, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like,
I'm good
like,
with at least one other person I can have a conversation with.
yeah.
Lou, I'm sorry.
But it was just like, I don't know, I'm okay being alone. I'm okay being by myself. I like that. But I also, like I said, I think it just stems from like, I also have never felt fully like I can be around somebody and just be myself. So it's like, now that I can, it's like, wow, that's really what I want. It's not that I want to be alone. I want to be alone with the right people. Like, I don't want to be by myself, but I want to be by myself with you and Luca.
Yeah, that's
and my
a good
family.
way to put it.
Like,
Because before, I would
you
say I
wanted
wanted to be alone. I way much prefer
right.
being alone. Absolutely, nobody in the house, just me. I play video games. I
Right,
don't have
yeah.
no
Even with
judgment,
Luca
no
and I
nothing.
here, it's like we're not here.
Right.
But it's like for me, it was just like you don't have to be doing anything, but just knowing your presence was in the house was enough for me. And it's just
Yeah, no, that's how I am now. That's
yeah,
like now
and
when you
it
go to
feels
work, I'm like,
even
damn,
better now.
it's just me and
Like,
Lou.
right, like I
Which
mean,
I have a great time, but I'm just like, dang.
right. I mean, like before it felt like this, like he's here, and now with all of the changes, it feels like this. Like this is amazing. Like so, I think that is just like I don't know. When you genuinely think about the things you like to do, because I also, with the question of who are you, the things that I think about is like, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, but I was somebody before I
Titles.
was a wife and a mom.
Titles.
Like,
That's nothing.
right. So it's just like, what? Like, that's not who I am.
Not even close.
So it's just answering these
And to
questions
some
seems,
people, that is who you are. I mean,
yeah.
no shots at you people.
Right, of course, because like, there are definitely those people that are like, they become a mom and that is like their stamp.
Absolutely, 100%.
Like that's who I
Right.
am.
They're
and
grounded people, so they're aware truly that is where they are supposed to be.
right. And I think that is wonderful. And I also don't think that takes away from the fact that obviously I am a mother and like I value and appreciate everything that comes with being a mom and I take it very seriously. And everyone always says like if you're worried if you're a good mom, then you're automatically a good mom because you're worried about it. So like you're trying to be good at it. And it's just like that doesn't always have to be 100% who you are. And that was also something that I struggled with a little bit was I was like, well, I'm a mom now. It's like, okay. Like,
Titles.
yeah. Which is another thing we'll get into because titles do not really matter.
Granted,
Like,
being a mom is a lot harder than being a dad.
but that also is if you have that where it's like, oh, are you babysitting? No, this is my son. You're not babysitting. Like, that's just your son. Remember that, like, being a whole conversation. It's like, oh, you're babysitting your son tonight? And it's like,
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
this was literally a conversation where we had where it was like, no, it's not. I'm babysitting. This is my son.
Yeah, I know,
have
but
my
remember
son.
who I was at that time?
Yeah, but also I still agree with that.
That's fine. That means you're still
Because
back there.
it's
I'm
also
not back
like,
there anymore.
I saw a
That's
thing the
irrelevant
other
to me.
day that was like, there's a difference between a working mom and a working dad. Because no one ever says working dad. It's always working mom. And it's like,
Yeah, I mean, this is just society trying to. This is one of those things where it's just like you're veering off. Like it's a distraction where it's like it really doesn't. That's a quote that is just there to bother you. Literally,
it's true.
It doesn't
And
seem like it, but it literally, if you have to pick a side, if you have to literally pick a side within the quote's probably not that good.
right. And also, I shouldn't be fighting you on the fact that mom's jobs are harder than dad's. 'Cause
They are.
Really just are.
You
I
had
just
the
try-
baby.
I know, but I just try and think of the fact that, like, I feel like you parent Luca now with me, so not even equally. Like, sometimes you're giving 70 and I'm giving 30, and I'm giving 30 and you're giving, like, it's just like the vice versa. Like, you're just so back and forth with me now, I guess. So I just try and view it as like we are equal and I'm not doing more. But I guess when you think of the mentality, like you said, like I literally birthed you, like you came out of my body.
Yeah,
And it's like
that's what
the
I meant by
mental
it.
load is different of
Yeah,
like,
you had the hormone change. You had all the extra stuff going on.
right.
I'm here. I sat on the sidelines and watched SpongeBob.
Hey, we both did for a while.
I was really watching.
To the point where she was like, we need to turn this off now because you're about to have a baby.
You're about to miss your child.
Oh my
You
goodness.
actually watched this birth, huh?
Yeah. But overall, that's who we are. It's what we
Is it-
are. I don't know. That's just base level because we're just going to get. It's just
It
gonna,
only gets deeper from here.
and it's just going to change too. It's going to change and it's going to get different. And it's just. We're going to do it together on a screen, on a podcast.
What? We're gonna do it together on a screen,
Well,
on a podcast. We do not have an OF.
okay, we are. Stop it. Either way.
Literally in my brain, that's the sentence you said, and then you said it out loud. That's why I was like, what?
I wasn't even thinking about that, and usually I'm the one that's like, but, no.
Cap.
What?
You are not in that lane.
Okay, sure. Anyway.
I'm calling Cap.
Okay. Anyways, this is just what our podcast is about, and just the basis. And that's that.
Is that how we're ending this first one?
I don't know how to end it.
Are there any other questions?
No, it was like you kind of answered them. It was just
That was
like,
what I was hoping for. That I would catch a rhythm.
Yeah, it's like you, I guess, could have asked me more throughout, but we were just,
I was just waiting for you to back far off what I said.
It's just I felt like I wanted to get through the questions because I felt like me asking them was starting conversations. So I just felt like, it was fine to do it that way. And every podcast will be different. Sometimes you'll talk more, sometimes I'll talk more, sometimes.
Yeah, it also depends on my mood because remember, this is not my calling here. I don't like just talking unless like we get on the topics that's like actually critical to me. But I usually
that's also
like
we're gonna base it off of too, for sure. It's like some podcasts will be 15 minutes, some will be however long. We don't have to be like it has to be this long. It's just like whatever we're feeling for that topic, because we can always podcast again on the same topic. But yeah, that's us and who we are, kind of.
Ow.
In the very small scheme of things. You're just gonna let him eat your hair. All right. Are we good? I gotta get ready for work, so.
Bye.
Bye.
I saw somebody's license plate that said okay.